Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to talk to you about relapse. Now, in life, whether you're going through a breakup or not, there will come a time where you relapse. So you'll go through a series of progression. You feel like you're improving upon yourself and things are getting better and things are changing for the better. And then one day, you just feel stagnant or you feel like you've hit a plateau. And this is what I mean by relapsing, where like after a series of progression, you feel like you're not going anywhere or you feel like you've failed. And so this is what I want to talk to you about today. That it's okay to fail. And what you're feeling is completely normal. I want to share with you a personal anecdote. Years ago, when I was extremely overweight following my breakup, I remember how difficult it was for me to change my lifestyle around and lose weight. Every day I looked at myself in the mirror and I just grabbed onto my belly of fat and I just yelled at myself, "How did you get to this point? You're hideous. You're ugly." I was so hard on myself. I was at loss for words of the person that I was looking at in the mirror. And every day I did my best to change little bits and pieces about me. So I started dieting, I started working out, and it was very, very tough in the beginning. My body ached, and it told me that what I was doing was painful. But I kept pushing because I kept at it and I kept reminding myself that this isn't the person that I want to be, this person that I am now. After about 2 months, I lost a significant amount of weight. I lost about 30 pounds at that time, and I hit a plateau. I felt like a failure. I felt like nothing was going on. I was pushing myself even more. My legs were blistering, my ankles and my knees and my joints, everything was aching. And it got to the point where I was also starving myself. I was intermittent fasting at the time and I was only eating 2 meals a day. And I wanted to lose even more weight because at this time I was obsessed with losing weight because I still felt like I was fat. Like I had a fat mindset. And I hit this plateau and it was very, very tough on me. And I felt like a failure. And I brought this insecurity with me everywhere I went. I would talk to people and people would compliment me and tell me how good I looked, and yet I didn't believe them because I was like, no, there's more weight I need to lose. And everyone's kind of scratching their head, looking at me and frowning and going, dude, you look perfectly fine. What's wrong with you? And it wasn't until months later that I realized that this is completely normal. It's okay to feel like you quote unquote fail because it's a part of life. When something isn't working anymore, it's a sign for you to reevaluate everything as a whole and make some fine tunes and adjustments to it. It's kind of like a car. You can't drive the car one way and expect the same results for the rest of your life. Something will bound to break. It's up to you to figure out what went wrong and make some adjustments. So things aren't always going to be the same forever. Change is constant. And so what I mean by that is that it's okay to feel like you fail at times in your life because it's only a moment in time. It's not going to be there permanently. When you hit a plateau of some sort, it's a big sign for you to kind of assess the situation and make some minor tweaks and changes. And so during that time, I realized that the physical activity wasn't working for me anymore and dieting was more important. And I was starving myself just to lose more weight, and that wasn't good. And that in the short term, I knew that I was going to lose weight. But in the long term, it wasn't something sustainable, and it wasn't something that I will be able to maintain for the rest of my life. I couldn't, maintain eating one meal every other day just to keep my figure. It wasn't healthy. and I was obsessed with the numbers of my weight. Instead, I wasn't looking at who I am and the person that I am now looking at in the mirror. And so, tying this back in with today's discussion, is that there will come a point in time in all of our lives where we don't feel good about ourselves. And I want to remind you that this will always come. This will come and go at different stages and at different points in our lives. And when that time comes, it's a tall tale sign for us to go about and make some changes. I heard this a long time ago, and only until recently, it started to make a lot of sense to me that complacency is the enemy of progress. And I now believe that it's completely true, especially when it comes to relationships with others. When you're complacent, you take yourself for granted. You take others for granted. And ultimately, you take pretty much everything around you for granted. And it's not till a change comes about that shakes you and makes you realize that, there needs to be a change. I stopped progressing a bit or a part of myself, and now I'm unhappy. I feel unhappy. And I hope that you guys can fall in love with the process. It's not the end game that we all strive for. It's very romantic, right? Like when you work out, it's like, I want to get that, body figure, that sexy body figure that I want. I want to show off to people. I want that summer beach bod. Or, if you want to move up the financial ladder, I want to get all the big bucks, and I want to not worry about, financial issues anymore, things of that nature. It's a great goal, but I don't want you to be so fixated on the end game. Instead, I want you to focus on the process. The process and the pursuit of change, of progress, of bettering yourself is the most important thing. And if you lose that, you essentially become complacent and become unhappy. And now, I'm sure there will be times too where you ask yourself, why do I try so hard? Why should I try so hard? What's the point? Honestly, I can't give you that answer. You have to make the decision for yourself. You have to give yourself a reason why. As for me, now that I've gotten my health back, I find it very, very important to stay healthy and stay active. And I want to be a positive influence to my family and my friends around me to ensure that they are also healthy. I lost a lot of very important people in my life, and I'd rather be here and healthy and do my best to live a long life than to live a very short life and be a burden to others. That is the reason why I strive and I work hard every day to keep my health in check. This is why I work really hard to move up my career path, so that way my family and I don't have to struggle financially. That one day when I'm put into a situation where I will have to provide for my significant other and my family, that they don't have to worry about it. That's one less problem to worry about. Those are things that I think about as I'm falling in love with the process of change and progressing myself. It's okay to fail, but it's how you respond to this moment in time. That's going to be your defining moment.